Everyone. Today is a very exciting afternoon because I'm here with Krystal Yates, and she is the founder and president of Integrity People Group. They do work for small businesses, HR infrastructure strategy. So, Krystal, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and your role at Integrity People Group, please?
I can. I have been in HR most of my career, and I have also been in small businesses most of my career. And those two things don't align very often because small businesses don't usually have the budget for an HR person. Most small businesses are just figuring things out as they go. And I did a lot of that in my early career, but I always had a leaning towards people. I got my HR certification, my first one in 2011. And I knew that was really a direction I wanted to move in. I wanted to focus on the HR side of business. And I have managed two other small businesses for absentee owners. And I thought, well, if I can do it for other people, I could do it for myself. It is not the same thing. I learned that very quickly when I started my own business. But in 2015, I started my HR consulting focused on small service based businesses. And we've been pushing through ever since.
That's great. Thank you so much for that. I was wondering if you could share with the listeners the values and mission of Integrity People Group.
Yes. So I chose the name integrity very, very deliberately. I always like to tell my clients legal is not always logical and logical is not always legal when we're dealing with employment law. But I think integrity is very, very important. And it's very, very easy to bend because there's nothing black and white about what we do. We're dealing with people, right? Situations change regularly. One situation can end a completely different way than another one, even if you're trying to do the same thing. And so integrity is my guiding light. Does this make sense? Is this the right thing for everybody involved or the as right as we can get? I believe very strongly that happy employees make profitable employees and profitable employees make the business owners money. I've experienced both sides of that. And so one of our tenets is if a potential client doesn't believe in our philosophy on employees and integrity, then it's probably not a good fit for us, and that's okay. But we believe in helping small businesses navigate the confusion that comes with that, right? That comes with dealing with people. And by the way, avoiding hiring the wrong folks that, the ones that we create policies for,
Yeah.
and we help them to hire the right employees, the ones that we want to do all the right things for.
hmm We definitely need more people like you in the world. That's wonderful. Can you give us an example? Can you tell us about your product, your specialty product, and the type of value it would provide one of your clients, for example?
So it's a service, and the service I call it a subscription based program for small businesses. My typical client provides a service to other either businesses or consumers, and they've got somewhere between 20 and 40 employees. Now I've got larger clients, I've got smaller clients, but that's my sweet spot is that 20 to 40 service based business. And they are looking for help navigating, right, the logical and the legal and finding that middle ground. How do we do things right? How do we make sure things make sense? When I come in with a brand new client, we start by looking at all of I call it their foundation. Do they have a handbook? If they don't, we put one in place. How are they doing payroll? Are we meeting all the laws? What does onboarding look like? Employees are twice as likely to stay when they're onboarded correctly than when they're not. And I teach a workshop, and one of the things I always ask these business owners is how many of you have walked into a brand new job on day one and nobody was expecting you? And at least a couple people raise their hands every time. I've had that happen to me before. And I'm trying to create environments where that doesn't happen, where people
Mm-hmm.
are, where the employers are ready to go when the people walk in the door on the first day. So employees feel valued. Retention, right? That's one of the biggest things we talk about. So we create the foundation and then we continue to work through what is always going to be the gray area. I meet with my clients once a month. And then I'm also available when those weird things happen. And those weird things happen regularly, right? Whether it's somebody has put in their notice for good or for bad, and we need to do an exit interview, whether we have an employee complaint, whether we have an employee health issue. That's a relatively common thing in small businesses. I have an employee with a health issue. How do I navigate this? We're too small for FMLA. Well, actually, the first question is, what is FMLA and do I have to do it? The second question is, if I don't, if you have less than 50 employees, how do I navigate this? How do I take care of my employee, but continue to do business at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all over the place with this explanation, right, Carolyn? And that's because that's the world of people. And so they're able to pick up the phone and call me, and we talk through their situation and we figure out not just what's legal, not just what's logical, but how it fits best within their particular business and how to make all of those different pieces come together. So, strategy is really a big part of what I do.
I totally love it. Could you give an example, just so to give an idea to our listeners what type of value you would provide a client? You don't need to name names of clients, but just to give us an example of the types of services that you have provided and the value that it has provided them.
I think one of the most concrete things I'm able to provide clients is that handbook, those policies. As
Mm,
small business owners, we don't tend to put policies in place until something bad happens.
yeah.
And I help my clients get ahead of that. Let's put the legal policies in place, make sure we're doing everything according to the law, but let's also put the logical policies in place. I'm going to tell you one of the things that I tend to identify that runs rampant in small businesses is nepotism, right? Nepotism. And I think it's okay up to a point. However, especially when it's not an owner or a family member of the owner, it can become very complicated when a family member is managing another family member. And so, one of the things I like to put into place is policies around how are we going to manage this?
Mm-hmm.
People date at work, people get married and work together. And there's a way to do it, but it can also create a lot of concern for other employees, right? Just the visual aspect of it can be very, doesn't always matter what happens. Perspective is what matters the most. And if it appears to other people that things aren't being handled fairly, that can be problematic. So one of the things we do is we evaluate the way a company is structured. We'll put a policy in place about the reporting structure and who can work for who. And we, not too long ago, almost had an incident, but we had already put a policy in place, and the employees had not let us know as they were supposed to, and so that we were able to mitigate that because they didn't follow policy and they had been actively informed of it. We were free and clear of any potential blame for that. And I could go way deeper, but then we start running into
Well,
privacy.
congratulations. I mean, those are all things that you don't think about when you're building a business, right?
You don't think about it until you've dealt with it. And those are
Mm-hmm.
things that I've dealt with multiple times. So, yes.
Wow. What are major shifts that you're seeing in your industry, Krystal?
This might not be exactly what you're asking, but one of the biggest challenges I've seen over the last year is a shift in talent.
Mm.
We have a lot of people looking for work, and we have a lot of employers looking for people, and the talent is not lining up with the open roles. So that gives us a lot of opportunity as employers to shift the way we hire, to rethink what skills are necessary, what education is necessary versus what education is preferred, and bring in people who are interested, even if they don't have the exact background. Now, that doesn't work everywhere, right? My brain surgeon had better have all of the all of the right attributes and hopefully graduated at the top of their class. But we often hire people into office admin technical roles, and we want them to meet all of these very specific requirements, and they don't necessarily need to. I'm seeing a very big swing of employers beginning to realize that I can teach skills, I can't teach attitude, I can't teach mindset. And I think that's especially important in small business. I believe it's important in all business, but especially in a small business where we all impact each other far more than we would
Right.
in a larger role.
Right.
So, how do
Wow.
we hire the person that's the right fit for
Yeah.
our company and has the right drive and mindset and eagerness to do the work?
Yeah, those are really important points that you bring up for sure. So how has these trends at all impacted your growth strategy, or does it not affect you at all? I mean, they're your clients, obviously they do, but
I'm very lucky. I tend to hang on to clients. So once they have seen the value, I tend to keep them. What I've actually seen has been very positive for me, and that is more small businesses willing to bring in somebody like me. They're starting to recognize the value. Operations, HR, we're a cost center in a lot of businesses. And I don't want to be a cost center, right? I want to help you make money. I want to help you save money or make money by bringing the right folks in the front door.
mm-hmm,
And I'm starting to see more small businesses understand that shift. I
mm-hmm,
don't have to just be an expense. I can actually help you become more profitable if we're both doing our thing the right way.
for sure. Thanks, Crystal. I appreciate that explanation. Where do you see Integrity People Group in 6 months to a year from now?
Well, we have been in a growth mode. So we have been adding clients. And I would like to see, I just hired my first coordinator. I've had staff in the past, but I've never had anybody else who is client facing. And I hope that in the next 6 months, we'll be ready to hire our next one. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to serve the needs of more and more small businesses and continue to expand throughout DFW.
Yeah, that is so great to hear. Um, well, I just want to let everyone know that they can reach you through LinkedIn. You have a personal profile, right, Crystal?
I
Crystal
do.
Yates at LinkedIn, and also through integritypeoplegroup.com. So they have a contact page for their website. Um, it's such an honor to have you here. Do you have anything to add in closing?
Carolyn, I don't think I do. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much for the wonderful information you've provided us all and the insights you've provided us also. I greatly appreciate it, and I wish everyone a great afternoon.
Carolyn, thank you.
Thank you.